This video, with professional captions, zoom effects, and contextual B-roll, was created entirely by AI in 6 minutes while I had coffee. Not just the avatar, the research, the script, the editing, the publishing, all autonomous, and for less than $5 a video. Where my old process was 5 to 6 hours for a single video, my new process is 8 minutes of approvals and AI does the rest. And here's the thing, the bottleneck was never ideas or filming, it was editing. And the service that I'm going to show you in this video solves exactly that. So I'm about to show you how to build this exact system, every workflow, every API call, every configuration, so you can produce multiple short-form videos per week while you sleep and automate your way to thousands of subscribers. Here's the 4-layer architecture that we're building. Layer 1 is the AI agent orchestrator. We're using Claude Sonnet 4.5 with N8N connected to an AI agent. This is the brain that coordinates everything, your creative director making decisions. Layer 2 is video generation. We're using HeyGen to create AI avatar videos. HeyGen has a decent free tier, and their professional tier is very generous as well. Layer 3, and here's the secret, Submagic automatically edits videos by adding captions, zooms, and contextual B-rolls. And finally, layer 4 is publishing. Upload Post publishes to Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts and optionally TikTok automatically. Free for your first 10 videos every month. The agent coordinates all 3 sub-workflows, tracks everything in a database, and handles your approvals at exactly the right moments. So let me demo the system for you end to end, and then we'll build it together. I'm going to click Open Chat and ask it to find some stories. It's going to read some RSS feeds that I provided in the system prompt. It's going to think about those and come back to me with 3 content angles. So we have option 1, complete with the original article, the URL, and the angle. Option 2, and option 3. Let's say we like option 3. I'm going to select option 3. And then it's going to come back to me with a well-written script and a YouTube title and Instagram caption. You'll see that it's also updating the database with any information that we're approving. And here's our script. You see that the script has a strong hook and it's very well formed. We also have an Instagram caption and we also have a YouTube Shorts title. Now, I think the script is a little bit long, so let me go ahead and ask it to shorten it a little bit, and I'll speed this part up. All right, there it goes. Everything's good, so I'm going to type approved. And you can see that it's now started the video generation process. You can see that workflow running over here. We've passed it the script. It's going to generate the video. It's going to take a couple of minutes. The AI agent has now called the video editing workflow, and here is where the magic really happens. Submagic gets the raw avatar video from this URL, it automatically transcribes the audio, it adds captions, it adds zoom effects on keywords, and searches for and inserts contextual B-roll footage. All automatic, so no more messing with timelines, no more searching for stock videos, just one click and a ready professionally edited short-form video. So the video edit is done. We have our final URL. And as the last step, we're going to call upload post and upload that video to YouTube and Instagram. All right, so the posts have been uploaded. You should get a message with the URLs and a confirmation. Perfect. Your content is now live. These are all the steps that the AI agent took. And here is our brand new video.
DeepSeek just embarrassed the US AI industry. While American companies spent billions, China built something better for way less. Now Prime Intellect has a radical solution. Democratize AI training. They're letting anyone contribute to reinforcement learning.
So I didn't search for that B-roll. I didn't time those captions. I didn't keyframe those zooms. Submagic did all of that automatically. And the total time from my first message to the published video, just a little bit more than 6 minutes. So before we dive into building, 2 quick things. If you're realizing that this could transform your content workflow, please do me a favor and hit subscribe. I break down AI automation systems like this every week. Real builds, not theory. Second, I have a school community where I share detailed step-by-step instructions for how to implement these automations. I provide support in the community and through weekly calls. And we also get together once a month and do a live build of one workflow that the community votes on. We also have a detailed and growing AI automation course. So the link is in the description. Do join. All right, so let's build this, starting with the orchestrator, the brain of the system. I'm going to scroll down and replicate everything for you step by step. First, we'll need a trigger. So I'm going to add a chat trigger from the right side. Let's drag that in here. And to that chat trigger, we're going to add an AI agent. The source for the prompt is the connected chat trigger node. That's fine. Everything else you can leave blank for now. And let's go back up and grab our system message. The system message is where we program the agent's entire workflow logic. So this prompt is like the operating system and the instructions. Here's the full prompt, and you can grab this entire workflow and step-by-step implementation instructions from the school community. So scroll back down, click AI agent. Let's rename this to orchestrator. And under options, I'm going to click add option, click system message, and drop in that prompt. Okay, let's hit save. Now our AI agent needs a brain. So let's give it a chat model. I'm using Anthropic. Click Anthropic. Make sure you have your credentials set up. Claude 4 Sonnet or Claude Sonnet 4.5, which is the newer one. Let's use that. So we have our brain, and we also need to give it some memory. So that's the basic agent setup. Now we need to give it some tools. So first, we're going to need to create a database. So let's click Tool, search for Database, and choose the Data Table tool. Now this table is going to be the single source of truth. Every video you generate gets one row, and everything you approve gets added to the database. The advantage of doing this is that if anything goes wrong in between, you don't lose any previous progress, and you can just continue building off from where you left off. From data table, choose create new data table. Here's the one I already have, and these are the columns that you want to use. You want idea URL, script, title, edited URL, description, Insta URL, YouTube URL, agent URL, and these 2 fields, and the ID field is the default. Once you've created your data table, select the data table that you created, and for operation, choose upsert. Must match is any condition. Add the condition, and you want to match on the ID. If condition is equals to, and the value can be, let the model define this parameter. And the same thing goes for all of the parameters. So just click all of these all the way down. And that's that. So we have a tool to add rows to the database. Now we also need a tool to get rows from the database in case something goes wrong in between and we need to retrieve information. So let's go ahead and just hit copy, paste, connect the tool, open it up, and instead of upsert, let's choose get. And leave all the parameters as determined by the AI, and make sure you've got the correct data table selected. Next, we're going to need to execute 3 sub-workflows. So we're going to add 3 sub-workflow tools, and then I'll show you how to build them out. Click on tools again, and this time use the call N8N workflow tool. Give it a description. Call this workflow to start the video generation process. Leave the workflow blank for now because we haven't built it. And let's rename this to start video generation. Then we'll add another tool, which is another workflow. And we can call this start video edit. Call this tool once the video start edit, leave the workflow blank, and add the final tool, which is upload post. All this will upload the video socials. That's that. And one tool that I forgot to add was the RSS feed tool. So let's add that as well, RSS. And for the URL, just let the model define this parameter because we've already added the RSS feed URLs in the system prompt. And you can change these to match your niche and your industry. So that's the basic workflow setup. Now we can hit save and then start building out each individual workflow. So the first workflow is to get the script that the AI agent has generated and use that script to generate a video. To generate the video, we're going to be using a service called HeyGen. So let me start building out the workflow and then I'll explain how to get the information from HeyGen. This workflow will handle the avatar video generation. It'll keep checking to see whether the video has been generated, and once generated, it'll return the URL back to the original agent. So to trigger this workflow, we're going to be using the when executed by another workflow trigger. If I open up this trigger, we need to give it some input schema, which is what kind of data does this workflow expect in order to get started. We only need one piece of data, which is the script. So the name is script and the type is a string. That's all we need. Now from this, we need to add a HTTP request node, which you can find by clicking the plus icon, searching for HTTP and dragging that in. Let's remove this. And this is the HeyGen video generation. Now, HeyGen has a pretty decent free plan, and their base plan is also really good. For $29 a month, you can get unlimited videos up to 30 minutes at 1080p, which is really good. Now, in HeyGen, we don't want the actual plan. We actually want the API pricing. So with the free plan, you get 10 credits, and one video isn't necessarily 1 credit. It depends really on the length of the video. So if you're just starting out and you're just trying, stick with the free plan. And once you're happy with everything, you can always upgrade to the pro plan. So for $100 a month, you get 100 credits, and 1 credit is 1 minute of generated avatar video. So let's click back out. So let's deconstruct what we actually need to get the video generation started. I'm going to open this up. The HTTP request is going to be a post request to this URL. Under authentication, select generic credential type. That will open up these menus. So under generic auth type, choose header auth. And under header auth, I already have mine set up, but you're going to need to create a new credential. And then your credential will require a name and a value. So if I edit this, you'll see that the name for HeyGen is x-api-key, and the value is your actual API key. And you can get your API key by going to HeyGen, setting up an account. In the bottom left, go to settings, go to subscriptions and API, click HeyGen API, and get your API token from here. Now, since I already have mine, I have the option to refresh it, but I'm just going to leave this for now. You can get it from here, and then we can go back. So that's the authentication all done. We want to send a body, and under body content type, choose JSON and specify the body by using JSON. Now let me expand this and show you what's going on. So this is the JSON request that we're sending, which is kind of like the instructions that we're sending the HeyGen API for what exactly it is that we want to do. Now to generate a video, you're going to need a character, you're going to need a voice and a script, and you're also going to need the dimensions. So under character, you can leave these settings as the default, but we do need to find an avatar ID. So you can go back to HeyGen, go to avatars, go to public avatars, and basically scroll through the entire database to find an avatar that you like. So let's say I like this one. I'm going to click it. And you'll see that we have multiple looks. So let's say it's this one, this one, this one. So let's say I like Joel Couch Front. Click there. And then in the URL, you'll find a default look ID. So this can either be a string or some numbers or some actual text. Now, in this case, it's actual text. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab this, right click, copy, and then come back into N8N and replace the avatar ID with the ID that you chose. Now the same thing goes for the voice. So you can come back into HeyGen, go to voices, find the voice of your choice. Make sure that you match the gender if that's what you're looking to do. Let's say I like this one, so I can just click on Get Voice ID. The voice ID will be copied, come back to N8N, and just paste that in here. Now, under the input text is going to be this script variable, which we'll get when we execute the workflow. So just type it in as you see it on the screen. So what this will do is it'll start the video generation process. Now let me dive into a previous execution so I can show you exactly what was going on under the hood. So this is the one that I just demoed for you. I'm going to copy this to the editor, and you'll see that the video generation started, and the output from that was a video ID. Next up, we have a wait node, and I've set this to wait for 10 seconds. You can set this to wait for actually 20 or 30 seconds as well, which is actually a better idea. So let me change that right now. And once the wait node is executed, we have another HTTP request node. Now this HTTP request is a GET request to this URL. Use the same credentials that you had set up earlier for the POST request. But now, instead of sending a body, we want to send query parameters. The name of the query is video_ID, and the value is the video ID that this generate video HTTP request has returned. So just click here, grab it, and paste it in. Now, if we see the data that check status sends back, you'll see that check status sends back a variable called status. Now, this is the last run, which is why it's showing as completed. But if we see the first run or an earlier run, we'll see that the status is processing. So the next step, which is a switch node, is essentially going to check what the status of that last HTTP request was. And based on that status, it's going to change the routing of the workflow. So if I open up this switch node, you'll see that I have 3 routing rules. So I'm going to drag in the status from the left, paste it in here, and keep this to is equal to. So if the status is equal to failed, we want the workflow to take one direction. If that status is completed, we want it to take another direction. And if it's anything else, we're going to enable a fallback output. And under fallback output, choose extra output. So we'll see that there are 3 outputs. One is failed. So if the video generation fails, we have an edit fields node where we have created a variable called output, and that output just says video execution failed. This edit fields node will essentially send this message back to the AI agent, informing the agent that the execution failed. If the status was completed, it's going to go into another edit fields node. This time the output is the video URL from the switch node, because if the status is completed, it'll also give you this video URL. Drag that in here. So this edit fields node will return a video URL to our AI agent, and that agent is then going to save that to the database and use it in the next step. And finally, the fallback output just goes back into the wait node, waits again, and then checks after that amount of time to see whether there has been any update in the status. So all in all, it's a fairly simple workflow. So we have the video generation node complete. Let's go back, open this up, and under workflow, choose the script to agent workflow, which we created. And under workflow inputs, the script will just be determined by the model. So that is set. Next up, we need to build out the video edit workflow. So it's the same trigger when executed by another workflow. And all we need to pass in is the URL, which is the type string. You'll notice that this is essentially the same workflow, except we just have one extra step in between. So let me talk you through the HTTP request and the service, and then we'll dive directly into this node over here. So let's open this up. We're doing a post request to this URL. The authentication is the same as before, generic credential type, header auth, and the credential again is going to be x-api-key. Paste in the API key that you get from Submagic. Now, Submagic is an incredible tool to create viral shorts in seconds with AI. You just pass it a video, it'll automatically edit it, add B-rolls, add captions, and add zooms. And they also have a ton of other features, like clipping long-form videos into viral shorts, auto-translating videos, etc. I would encourage you to sign up for the free trial, play around with it. And if you like it, you can go ahead and sign up. Use the link in the description. If you use the link in the description, I'll get a slight kickback, and I'd really appreciate that for no extra cost to you. And Submagic has been kind enough to offer a 10% discount to my viewers, so the discount code is in the description as well. So in Submagic, we're going to click on integrations and then click on API documentation and then choose create project. And we're really looking for is the templates endpoint. So let's click here and you'll see that there are all of these different templates based on viral creators. So we can choose any one of these that we like. Let's say I like Hormozy 3, so I can just go ahead and grab that. So let's come back to the workflow. Remember to enable send body and see the body that we're sending. Let's expand this. Here is the code. The title can be anything because it's just internally for Submagic. Language, since this demo is in English, leave this as EN. But if you're working with other languages, Submagic does support a lot of different languages. So you can just change the language code to support yours. The video URL is the URL received by the trigger from the AI agent orchestrator. Just copy this text as it is. Under template name, you can go back to the templates that we were looking earlier and grab any one of the templates that you like. So let's say you like Mr. Beast. I'm going to copy that, come back in here, just replace that with this. The webhook URL, you can just delete because you don't need it for now. Leave magic zooms as true. And this is what's going to enable the zooms in the edit. Use magic B-rolls, leave magic B-rolls as true because this is what's going to enable the B-rolls. And for the B-rolls percentage, you can really play around with this data point. So you can keep it at 50, which means 50% of your video is going to be B-rolls. And you can adjust this accordingly, depending on what you're looking for. So if we click back out, the rest of the workflow is the same. We're going to wait. We're going to check the status. And depending on that status, if it fails, we have to send that failure message. If the workflow is complete, now if the video edit completed successfully, this node is what keeps N8N from crashing and is what ensures that your workflow is going to continue and your video gets uploaded. So Submagic returns a download URL for your edited video. And that video file can be a little big at times. So if you try to pass that file directly into upload post, it's not going to be able to handle it. If you try to download that file into N8N to upload to Google Drive, N8N might end up crashing because it might run out of memory. So we're using a service called Cloudinary, which is going to solve both of those problems. Number one, you can upload the file directly from Submagic into Cloudinary, and Cloudinary provides a URL which you can then give to upload post to properly publish your content. So essentially, the file never really passes through N8N's processing memory. If you're running N8N Cloud, this may not be that big of an issue for you, but if you're running the Community Edition, you might end up crashing your computer or your DigitalOcean droplet. So to set up Cloudinary, and Cloudinary is free up to a certain level, you can head over to cloudinary.com, sign up for a free account, and we're going to need to grab our credentials. So under Home, go to API keys, and grab the cloud name, the API key, and the API secret. Now, Cloudinary has a native node in N8N, so you can just search for that in here, drag that in here. If we double click that, we want the resource to be upload, operation, upload from URL. The URL is going to be the download URL returned by the switch node, which is this over here. You can just copy it as it is. And the resource type, this is important, is video. Now to set up your credentials, click create a new credential. You're going to need to provide the cloud name, the API key, and the API secret, which you can find from this page over here. And once you fill everything in, it'll test the connection. And once the connection is tested successfully, you know that everything's working. Click back out. And finally, we have an edit fields node, which is going to pass in that last secure URL from Cloudinary in a variable called output. So once this workflow is done executing, all that our agent gets back is this single URL. And it can then use that URL. So let's go back to the main agent, double click, choose the right workflow. So this time it's video to Submagic URL, and just let the model define this parameter. That is this sub workflow done. And all that's left is one sub workflow and we're done with the build. So if you're following along and actually building this, drop a comment with building so I know you're implementing and not just watching. And also the complete workflow JSON files, all of the documentation, step-by-step instructions, and the system prompt are available in the school community, so you don't have to recreate anything from scratch. All you need to do is just copy and paste, and you'll have everything ready to go. And if you join the community, you'll be able to get support in implementing this and any other workflow that you want to build for your business or your clients. The link is in the description. Now here is the final sub-workflow, which is publishing the video with Upload Post. Upload Post is a service that handles cross-platform publishing. So one API call, and Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, Threads, Reddit, you can post to all of those platforms from just these two nodes. So it starts again with an execute workflow trigger, double click. And this time we need some more input schema. We have the URL, which is a string, and this is the Cloudinary URL. We have the YouTube title, which is a string. And we also have the Instagram caption, which is also a string. Now, if you don't have this node installed in N8N, you can go ahead, click on your icon in the bottom left, go to settings, go to community nodes, and grab N8N-nodes-upload-post and install it from here. Upload Post does support native API calls through HTTP requests, but if you do have the community edition and you're using this, it just makes life a lot more easier. So let's double click this, add your credentials, and choose upload video. Now you're gonna need a user identifier. To get this, we're gonna go into Upload Post, sign up. The free account is good enough for now. And if you need to really scale up, the basic account for $18 a month is also very reasonable because this includes unlimited uploads. So once you've signed up, you're going to need to create a profile. Now I already have mine set up, but let's say you would just have test, and make sure there are no spaces in between. Click add profile. And that's going to go ahead and add a profile. And to this, you can just click on these social media icon buttons and connect your social media accounts. I'm just going to delete this for now. So grab the profile name that you had set up, come back here, and that is the user identifier to paste in. Next up, you need to choose the platforms. Make sure you're only choosing platforms that you've actually set up. Otherwise, this is going to throw an error. But if you have more set up, you can just add as many as you need, remove as many as you don't need. And once that's done, we have the title main content, which is the YouTube title from the workflow. We have the ID caption from the trigger, and we also have the video file or URL from the trigger. Depending on the platforms that you choose, some more fields may populate at the bottom, so you may need to adjust some more variables. Under Instagram media type, make sure it is a reel, since we're doing reels. So choose this, and you can ignore the rest of the settings. Click back out, and that's really it. So finally, we go back to the orchestrator, come back here, and choose your workflow. This time it's upload post, and just make sure all of the inputs are determined by the AI model. And now your AI agent has access to all three sub-workflows as tools. It can research topics using RSS. It'll maintain a database of everything saved in N8N natively. It'll generate videos. It'll edit those videos, and finally upload and publish those videos to your social media profiles of choice. It's a seamless orchestration. So right now, the system researches from RSS feeds, but you could very easily modify this to pull ideas from a Google Sheet that your team maintains. And the possibilities are really endless. So let's recap what we built today. We have a 4-layer AI content production system with Claude Sonnet 4.5 orchestrating approvals, coordinating workflows, and managing state variables in a database. HeyGen generates professional avatar videos. Submagic automatically edits those videos. And Upload Post publishes to Instagram and YouTube simultaneously. So your bottleneck was editing, and Submagic has removed that completely. From I need to spend 3 hours timing captions and searching for B-roll, to the API returns a professionally edited video in just 3 minutes. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could give it a like, and do remember to subscribe to the channel for more AI and automation content. Thanks for watching. Now go and build.